Hey everybody, it's Pastor Daniel with Connection Church, and today is day 38 of our 40 days of purpose. And today's special guest is Rose. How you doing, Rose?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So today is a pretty cool reading. It talks about becoming either a worldly Christian or a world class Christian. And he gives us some action points for determining that, like shifting from self centeredness to other centered thinking, from local thinking to global thinking. He talks about shifting from the here and now thinking to where we're focused only on here and now to eternal thinking, and talking about thinking of excuses instead of thinking of excuses to not fulfill the commission that God's given us to do, thinking of creative ways to fulfill it. Whew, lots of good stuff in here today to unpack, and we don't have time to talk about all of them, but what is something that stood out to you?
I think I really liked where he challenged us and said, world-class Christians wake up every day expecting God to work through them in fresh ways. And then he posed the question, which type of Christian do you want to be? And of course, I think all of us would say we want to be world-class Christians, but I think sometimes it's easy to feel more like a worldly Christian than a
Yeah,
world-class Christian. And I think it's just always important every day when we wake up to remind ourselves and to ask God, work in my life today and help me to help others. Bring people into my life, give me opportunities to serve you. So I think that's something that really stood out is starting every day with that intent because it's easy to get bogged down or lost. And I even thought maybe like putting a post-it up next to me and saying, reminding me when I wake up in the morning, what can I do today? Or, reminding me that, let me think about that. So I think that's a really important thing to
yeah,
focus
I agree too. And there was a part in here where he talked about shifting from the here and now thinking to the eternal thinking.
on.
And he said, so much of what we waste our energy on, so things that consume our energy, will not matter even a year from now, much less for eternity. And I thought, man, I need to post-it note for my life on that one. It's like, stop sweating the small stuff,
Yeah.
is this really going to matter? And I thought that's a really good way to kind of have a shift in my thinking to where um, I won't be stressing over things that don't matter. And I think that's such a time waster and an energy waster for us. So, uh,
Yeah.
what are some takeaways that you have for this? What are some ways that you feel like your life can be changed from today's reading?
Yeah. I think missions trips were mentioned in this, and I know that's something that I've always thought about, but I just never um, fully devoted and pursued. And I think that's something I know that Connection Church has gone to St. John before and has done different missions trips. And I know right now it might be a little bit challenging to
Yeah,
do, but it
sure.
could be something maybe we start to think about for next year, next summer, start to kind of form a group and get that together to be done. It's something that I would be excited to do. And maybe, we could make that something that happens and
Yeah, I think
something
so too.
that, yeah,
Yeah, it would be good too. And one of the things that was mentioned, I think you mentioned it before the interview, and I don't know if it was in today's reading, but you mentioned that there are Christians on every continent now.
yeah,
And I thought that's fantastic, but there's still a necessity for us to go and to reach the world, and international mission trips are definitely one way for us to expand not only our ministry, but also expand our thinking to
yeah,
realize, wow, there is a whole nother world out there besides what I'm living right now. So yeah. Do you have any
definitely.
encouraging words for us as we get ready to head out today?
Um, I think one thing that really stood out to me, just not particularly this chapter, but just in general, that really stuck with me is that even if you save one life, that means something to God. And some days we are stressed and, we have a lot going on, but even that just really like spoke to my heart because one conversation or one thing that you do might bring somebody closer to God. And it's not just like, okay, I want to save the world, right? Me, myself, I might not be able to do that, of course, but just that one thing really, really spoke to me. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can't save the world, but maybe I can help even one person in my life. And that makes me feel great. And then one Bible verse that I thought of when reading this was in 1 Corinthians 15:58. God, it says, always keep busy working for the Lord. You know that everything you do for him is worthwhile. And that really kind of helped, that made me think about this. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And we're out of time, and that is a wonderful way to end it with the scripture right there, because you're right. We can't save the whole world, but good news is we don't have to, because Jesus has done it, right? And so we just keep pointing people one by one to him. So thank you so much for spending time with me today, and our people of Connection Church. And for everybody else, we will see you tomorrow. Bye.